Hey everyone, this is Editor AK talking to you now. I just wanted to tell you guys, maybe stick around for the end of the video. I found some of my old military stuff and took a video out of it, and it felt appropriate to stick it to the end of this video. I'm gonna also have it in the timestamp, just wanted to make you aware of it. Oh, and again, happy holidays. So, hello my Gunrunners, welcome back to AK Reacts. I'm AK, technically the result of a social engineering program called Islamic Republic of Iran, not proven yet to be a PSYOP. For new people that have just joined us or are just new to the channel, hello and welcome, I'm AK, I'm an ex-conscript of Iranian law enforcement. I served this country as a conscript in law enforcement. My job mainly consisted of working at armory, doing guard duties, patrol duties, judicial escorts, and anything else you would see in a precinct. Today's video title that made me just so excited by reading it is Beret/Inspections from the Campfire Stories series that we have been going through. As always, make sure to check their channels. You can check them out in the description down below. I'm gonna have all the links there, or click the video card at the top right corner right about now. Please go over to Mike Bornfire and Zach Hazard's channel and make sure to give them a like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that to feed the algorithm. And if you like this video, maybe do the same for me. This video is going to be uploaded just about at the end of December, so this video is going to be my last video of this year. More to come next, but Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, to all that it may concern, Happy Holidays. Without further ado, let's get this video started.
While I was in the military, we had to wear berets.
Yeah, I've been there.
I've worn a beret.
What, really?
Right now. I imagine it.
He is right now.
Berets normally fall off your head, which is why I had to duct tape mine to my hair.
Just one point. The fact that the character that I've always seen wearing beret, just says that he has never. That's just baffling a little, because even we had berets. Like, it was part of a ceremonial occasion where we wore them, but we definitely had those. Ours were black berets, at least the law enforcement one is, and we wear them type of like this. We wear it the other way around. The marking is top of your right eye, and it folds down to the left side. I don't know, if I find out my old one, I'm gonna show it or put a picture of it. You're gonna see. Anyway, let's keep going.
The berets don't normally fall off your head.
Oh no, they don't. They have something to tighten them.
Which is cinched down so tight around your fucking...
That too, yeah. Yeah, honestly, it always had a line going around our head.
The beret. And pretty much
everybody
in the military hated the beret too. You don't hear about this.
They look good, but they are just so bad.
Special forces, red beret, airborne, air assault, which is those that repel out of helicopters, were black berets.
Oh.
And some general in the army.
Just one point. Green berets are special forces, usually for the army and the guard corps. Mostly army, but also there's the Marine Special Forces, which they are the direct translation of a Marine Special Force, Marines, as you can call them. They also wear green berets. The Army one do too. What else? There are like 3 different special forces in Iran. One, the IRGC's group of special forces, they also wear green. The Rangers, or the special forces of the army, work under the army, yeah, of course. The Marines special forces, which work under the navies, they wear green berets, but the navy itself wears blue. The ones that wear green are usually the special forces one. Black berets were usually the Iranian airborne units or the guard corps commando unit, and also the beret used by the police force. It is a bit complicated. Majority of the cases of these berets is based on the commander's view, and it's different based on each divisions or airborne special forces. It could go multitude of ways based on how they want you to look, because a majority of these are used only in ceremonial type of situations, and not every special forces has a ceremonial use to it. Like, why are you promoting something that you shouldn't have? And of course, there's the red ones, which are like the personnel ones. You could see it in a couple of offices, crew members sometimes, like heavy machinery, mostly mechanized stuff. So you wouldn't see red almost at all. But yeah, we had like all the different types. And if you are kind of new to this channel, which I'm sure most of you are, the reason for that is because they were technically American. All the bases of the special forces, Marines, and majority of the armies were in Iran, were implemented in Iran by the Western powers. So a lot of the ranks, insignias, like berets, and in its entirety, military culture was just adopted one-to-one. Anyway, that's enough. Let's keep going.
Once again, saw all these super cool people.
Let's go back just a bit.
These are the guys that rappel out of helicopters were black.
All right.
Berets. And some
Airbornes
in the army, once again, saw all these super cool people wearing berets.
Oh no.
Mixed up correlation and causation. If we wear berets, that means we'll be cool.
Or,
oh no.
It was a bunch of generals sitting in a meeting. One of them looked at the other one and said, "We need a new headgear. What should we do?" Then he picked up an E-tool and smacked the guy in the head with it. And the guy went, "Everyone wears berets!" and then promptly collapsed on the floor in a puddle of his own vomit.
Yeah, that would check out.
Somebody decided that everyone in the army would wear berets, black berets. Air Assault was not happy about this.
Took their whole shtick, huh?
Everybody gets it.
Yeah.
To make it even worse, most major military bases are in the south of the United States.
Oh, it's hot and yeah, they're mostly wool.
Are all made out
exactly.
Wool that are suctioned to your head. So you end up sweating like a goddamn
yeah.
Stupid dead skunk on your head.
Honestly, yeah.
You were sweating like a goddamn pig?
Just sweating like a goddamn.
Sweating like a, okay.
Put your favorite noun in there. Choose your own adventure story.
Yeah, perfect.
So you get out of basic training. You finally get to wear the beret. Oh, joy of joys. I get to wear this beret.
Hooray.
They were just, they look good, but it's just so bad.
Round pizza crust.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's not shaped at all. It's just a flat round.
It's a flat circle, yeah.
Which is just cardboard backed.
Okay.
Ours didn't come with the emblem. We had to choose them based on our company's rules and all that.
Okay. Remove beret from plastic bag.
All right.
Cry for hours.
This is not
checks out. It's not supposed to be.
Put this dead rat on your head.
Yeah.
Buy a 25-pack of disposable Bic razors.
Okay.
Wait.
I don't like where this is going.
You want to shave it? Yeah.
The razors?
Yeah.
Why are you shaving the beret?
Because it is incredibly fuzzy.
You
will get yelled at if you wear it when it is that fuzzy.
It's gonna get everywhere.
Right now, you have not bought a hat. You bought a model kit you get to put on your head.
It's a modular one. You have to make it. Yeah.
Shave the beret. You will go through many razors during this process because the razors, which are not accustomed to having wool being put through them,
of course,
mad and break.
What if I had an 11-blade razor?
Well, that's just gonna rip a hole right through your beret, and then guess what? You get to go.
You gotta do it from the scratch.
And trim it down a bit.
Good luck doing that. You try to trim hair that is
it doesn't work.
Less than a quarter of a millimeter long.
Oh, fair.
Wool lint gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It's the biggest pain in the ass. And then when you're finally done shaving the beret, you get to shave it some more because that still was not enough. And then finally, you're done shaving the beret. Excellent. I'm done shaving this fucking thing.
Now it's still a
and put it on
circle.
No, I have to shave the inside now. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Why do you have to shave the inside? Nobody's gonna see the inside.
It's still wool.
Tolerable when you put it on your head.
Yeah, it's so scratchy. It's so.
So you have to shave both the inside and the outside.
Insulated from heat.
Because if you shave too much, it'll get thin, and then you'll rip a hole in it.
Yeah.
90% of the soldiers in the military had a hole in their beret. Because once they would finally finish shaving this fucking thing and getting it cleaned and shaped and shaved, inevitably, it's gonna go, and a little hole is gonna appear in it.
Poked through it, yeah.
6 hours shaving this fucking thing. You might as well just wear it on your head.
Honestly, yeah.
Finally, you have
put some duct tape in it.
The beret.
You've patched the hole with a piece of chewing gum.
Time to put the emblem on the front. Put the emblem on the front. Now you gotta take a hammer and bash the 2 little pins that are on that emblem down, because otherwise there's 2 pins on the little emblem
Yeah.
sticking straight out. Even if
Metal
you have damage
pins?
on the back of it.
Oh, if you're using damage, they definitely,
The entire
yeah.
time you're wearing it, just constantly poking you in the forehead over.
Yeah, about that. Mine didn't come with an emblem. You had to like get ours from like where we were serving. As it was a ceremonial thing, they asked us to get the one that the battalion was using. So each battalion is technically only training one type of like soldier, officer, or any sort of enlisted or conscript, depending on it. So it's based mostly on the location, and they would only use a couple of insignias. So you would have to get the ranks from like the tailor in the position that you were stationed in. Then you would have to go to your company, check what type of insignia you would need for it, because depending on the companies, they would also be different. Mine was technically was a field used to train commandos, which we call takavar. So the insignia I used to have was a single sword that was going up of it, which also our conscripts do not end up in any of the commando units because we are conscripts and they are enlisted. But still, we had to like follow their regulations. So that's the one ending up on our berets. Okay, got the insignias. It came to the company. Now get them back to the battalion tailor or something. Get them stitched in. As we were in a desert, we usually just wet the whole thing in like a whole bunch of water. Just duck it in, pull it out, and we had these old metal World War II helmets that were just there for the guard duties. A couple of like inside guys had to wear them as something that would poke light back when you had like a flashlight at them or something, so we could see them and all that. As we had like a couple of those just hanging around, we would just pull our berets over them so they could get just a bit more in shape, better to say, and then we'd just leave them there because the air around was just so hot, and these were just metal like helmets, so they would just get the heat all in and just cook the thing from inside and outside, which dried it and had kind of a puffy feeling, but it worked enough to look good while you were wearing as Zach said it, a dead skunk on your head in middle of the desert. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Not fun. Let's keep going.
Over. So you literally just take the damage off and you just throw them in the garbage, and you put the beret down on like a mouse pad, and you just smash the back of the 2 pins with a hammer. But you're still not done.
There's more?
There is more.
What else? Oh yeah.
Begin
yeah.
taking a pair of scissors and cutting all of the cardboard out of the front of your beret.
Why would you remove the cardboard?
Because if you don't remove the cardboard, there will be an
That's a good question.
every single time you go outside and somebody sees you with a half moon shape on the front of your beret.
Is this bad?
Don't they like it?
To anybody with a rank over lieutenant, it is a bad thing.
It's a rank thing.
Once the cardboard is gone,
They don't like you just because they don't.
Hold it like a bowl and fill it up with water.
Yeah. Same. Done that. Just said it.
Now?
Yes.
Why?
Because that is the only way you're going to shape this damn thing.
What?
If you just put the beret on your head and shape it, you're just going to look like a mushroom with a black top and a little emblem stuck. So,
Kinda, yeah.
water.
I could picture it.
Seems obscene, but go on.
Once you've done with that, dump all the water out of it, and while the beret
Alright.
is soaking wet and dripping everywhere,
Yeah.
put it on your head and pull it and tug on it. And rip
Also
it around
done
and
that, to
rest
be
it,
honest.
And then pull one side of it over, but don't pull it too far.
You might rip it?
Not pull it. The regulations on the beret are vague.
Yeah.
There's not really specifics on it. It basically amounts to the beret has to look good.
Exactly.
You can't wear it like it's a pizza that someone dropped on top of your head. You can't have it pulled way down over one ear. But every single higher ranking person in the U.S. military had their
own way, yeah.
supposed to be set up. And if your beret didn't look exactly like theirs,
It's
you
just so
never
much the
ended
same.
every single time.
It's so similar, it's painful.
To wear this dog turd, but it
Yeah.
has to look nice.
Yeah.
I had 2 different berets because the warrant officer in charge of our motor pool wanted the berets set up in one way, and the officer in charge of our company wanted the berets set up a different way.
Ugh,
So I had a beret
that must have
when I
been
worked
so
on
bad.
formations and a beret that I wore when I walked into work. so that I wouldn't get talked to.
Did everybody in your unit do this, or did they?
No, some people would just get yelled at because they just didn't give a shit and they knew there was nothing that the military
Yeah,
could do
at
about
that
it.
point, I would completely understand.
Most of the time was to be as wallpaper.
In
Something
the
that you
background?
felt there, but you're really not inclined
Yeah.
to. Yep. I just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah,
I've gone on this whole
that's a luxury at some points.
specifically to say that the beret for standard army is no more.
And you're
Oh.
so happy you're going to re-enlist.
I'm
Is it
no.
over a beret? No. God, no.
I'm too old and fat. They wouldn't
That
do
never
that
stopped
anyway.
That never stopped
Stop
any
us
army
from
or
joining the
military,
army.
honestly.
Close the war. Yeah, that hat is no more. I hated wearing that stupid beret. I burned my beret when I got out of the military.
So much
You
hate.
hated it that much?
I burned it in
Oh.
barracks the day I left the military.
You burned it like a 200.
Understandable.
Textbook
Honestly
that can't be
understandable.
returned because there's a new edition.
It was just a symbol of all of the hate and discontent I felt. I hate this stupid thing.
Yeah.
Dissolved into ash, the fumes rising into the air. A huge burden had been alleviated. You were free, and your forehead could breathe.
Yep.
Finally.
God, I hated that beret.
All my complaints about the Marine uniform seem petty in comparison. We had to roll our sleeves, and we had to wear certain uniforms on certain months, but...
Oh, I'm in no way discounting your complaints.
Huh?
Did you have to polish your boots?
Oh.
brown boots?
Oh God, no.
Oh, man.
Did you have to
Oh.
polish your boots?
Polishing boots. Oh God. Majority of the things I said was just for like ceremonial type of things. All right. It only comes up on certain occasions. Mostly it's just one off. Usually you're just trained extensively on these and just left alone until needed or something like it. Polishing boot was not one of them. Polishing boot was a daily chore. You would have commanders just watch you do it. They were just there to inspect it because it was such a big thing because you had to always be clean, pristine, and understand that as someone who did a lot of escort and like patrol duties, we were up to some dog shit at some points, all right? I'm not joking. Sometimes we would just be stationed at pastures, farms, dirt roads, sometimes just to help traffic go along. These boots would get dirty all the time, all right? And they had such a hard-on for just cleaning these. They would, the waxing them was just a pain. Cleaning them was, if they got cold, they would get stiff. So you would have to like leave them in the sun for some time so they would get warm and all that. We would put ours alongside heaters to just keep them kind of warm and soft. But also it made them smell so bad, which we had to like endure because the other option would have been even worse. Yeah, that was just such a bad one as well. Let's keep going, see what that Zach has for it.
Yeah.
Really?
So I had to set aside
Uh,
an hour every single night.
well, not an
to
hour, but
polish my boots.
genuine, yeah,
Huh?
until it was
Chief in charge of our
extremely
motor pool.
shiny. You get better at it.
Everything being pretty and clean, even though we work in a motor pool repairing military Humvees,
Ah,
which are some of the greasiest,
God
most
damn it.
disgusting vehicles ever. Not to mention all the gross cans of
Yeah.
juice that are just leaking out of the bottom of every single vehicle.
Yes, thank you, Army personnel.
I would show up for work. I would work on weapons, or if there's like a belt-fed machine gun on the floor, I would end up kneeling on the floor and working on.
Of
the bench.
course
So my
are
boots,
gonna,
of course,
yeah.
are gonna get all scuffed up, as would be expected. And then we would have an inspection in the middle of the work. Well, I still have 25 more machine guns that I have
God.
to gauge, and there's 17 more vehicles that need PMCS done on them. So we have to do an inspection in the middle of the day, and everything's gross and disgusting. And then I get yelled at for having the knees of my uniform.
Because
dirty
of
and my
course
boots are
they are,
scuffed up.
but what else can you say?
After that, at the time,
Exactly, you have to just say sorry and go on.
boilerplate response.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. It won't happen again, sir. There were a couple times that I got really fed up, and they would be like, "Why are your boots?"
It's gonna get worse.
Because I fucking work. Oh, you do work, do you? Okay, well, why don't you do some
Lovely,
push-ups
of
then?
course.
Cool.
So that's why you
Exactly.
give a boilerplate response.
Yeah, pretty much. We got a new sergeant major, and he came down to inspect our motor pool. He came down there. We had spent like 4 days.
That must have
cleaning
been
the motor
fun.
pool.
Oh.
Everything was clean and organized. A bunch of the mechanics got behind on working on vehicles. Everybody had to clean up everything. The floors were so clean you could have
God.
fucked your feet off them. They were using the floor buffer to scrub concrete for this inspection for the new Sergeant Major. He came down and he saw how clean the motor pool was, and he was like, why the fuck is it so clean?
Oh, God.
Okay.
You can never win.
Trouble because your workspace
Exactly.
is too clean.
Pretty much, his opinion was, if it's so clean, why?
Honestly, yeah, that would have been a very good logical point if the other guy didn't exist.
So
Yeah.
yeah. The cleaning requirements were lax after that.
Too little, too late. God. Another great video by Mike and Zach, honestly. Make sure to support them. This part is technically the afterthoughts, so if you want to leave, if you want to go, you're dismissed. But hey, if you want to hear me rant about stuff till I go fully mad, keep watching and enjoy the ride. Yeah, definitely the standards and all that. I've had the same type of experiences. Like, I did talk about what was required of you, like polishing your boot at all times and all that. And inspections, of course, were some of the worst times you could possibly have. Just whenever the word that the inspectors were coming just was heard around the precinct, everyone was just scurrying around at every single point they could because our inspectors were just weird. Of course, they would have these type of like questions where like, why is this thing dirty? Why is this thing like this? Why haven't you polished your boots? Why haven't you cleaned this place? Why is this place dirty and all that? They would look around everywhere and all that. Yeah, sure, like normal inspectors. But as this is a Islamic Republic, they also would ask you some religious questions, sometimes out of the blue, ask you if you had any sort of equipment with you, some of which you always had to carry. Like one of them was a booklet that you always had to have with you, and they would actually ask questions from that booklet, which you were always supposed to have. They would judge based on your clothing and uniform. They would ask you questions because uniforms had like a different periods to use them from like the middle of, I would say, about fall till the end of winter, maybe first months of spring. You are also asked to wear your overcoat, and after that period is over, you would have to like take them off, and you are required to not put them on. Like you cannot wear them at all until the order of the season has been like cleared out and all that. You could be up for a demerit sometimes just based on how long your hair is. Like if you've just let it grow out just a bit and they deem it like not appropriate, they wouldn't just ask you to clean it. They would say that you were already required to, and this is a demerit on your part. The inspectors would just any and all beds just looking for stuff if there is any, and they would look for everything. Just for a conscript, smoking cigarettes is illegal, having phones is illegal. So if they find any of those, you are up for a good amount of demerits coming your way. Some of them might actually require you to spend time in a jail time. Some of them would get you jail time, and you would have to spend it in a logistic prison, as they would usually call it. You have to turn yourself into the headquarters to spend your time and come out and go back to your like own precinct and all that. Have seen all of this happen. Have seen a friend of mine that brought his own like Android phone through the precinct. The dumbass had it in a charger inside the outlet with the entire wire just circling around his own pillow, and ending up under the pillow was his phone in the charge. Like he hadn't even told anyone. So we didn't know it was there. So when the inspector came and just started throwing everything out looking for stuff, his phone just plopped down and he just put it in his pocket. He asked us whose it was, and I said I didn't know whose it is. I think he also suspected it was mine. It wasn't, but he told me to, whenever you find whose it is, tell him to turn himself in the inspection department of the HQ. So yeah, at points they definitely were just there to be an annoyance to you, just to stop you from actually doing your job and going back to sleep and all that. So for all the reasons that it was kind of allowed to them, these were just looked at like demons in the army and all the military, because when they rolled out, they could have you for almost any sort of infraction and just exaggerate it by some sort of law to just make it an even bigger problem for you than it already was. And considering I just told you that they would care about how polished your boots are to how close cut was your hair and just beard, if they wanted it, they would find something to pin you. And if they did write you for like any sort of demerit or infractions or something, or any sort of illegal or inappropriate behavior, then those letters would also have to go through your own commanders. So in my case, in my own captain, through my own captain, meaning technically they would also be chewed out by a superior of theirs. So you would also have to like live out the next couple of weeks under a magnifying glass, make sure to do no wrong at any point. So yeah, inspectors were a bunch of fun people too. Happy to have you all here at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. You are all legends. Thank you. I wanted to showcase some of the old stuff I have from my military days, just for the fact that this episode was about berets and inspections, and I talked so much about what they would expect out of you in inspections, or what did berets look like and all that. Instead of just giving you pictures, I thought maybe showing you the ones I have would be kind of better. So to start with, I wanted to show you this one. This scarf that you're seeing in the background, these are kind of pseudo-religious scarf that you would wear around your neck, but also you could like position it somehow that would completely go around your face and head to cover your face. Could be used to protect your identity or just protect you from sunlight. You could find myriad of politicians or religious people and clergy, and of course lots of different military personnel wearing a lot of these around their neck when they are doing some religious activity or during prayers even. This is called a chefier. You go about buying like 5 or 6 of these because you need to use some of these a lot. And of course, as you can kind of see, this one has seen some beatings, and to be honest, I didn't want to use it anymore because I was not willing to put this around my own neck. So I got some newer ones, still using these as like scarves or something to clean up with. So yeah, the background actually has lore. What a shocker, right? And now let's get to the basic uniforms. We used to dub these the so-called pickle suits. It definitely has the color of it. These were the pants. Let me show you the other one. I'm gonna show you another picture that would actually look like what these are. These would be the insignias on inside of your neck. I can't actually show you much of this. I still have some of my insignias on it, and I'd rather not openly show myself out of it. But I'm going to show you pictures on how these look, because of course these are just required to know for background, because everything is just this color, all right? Pickle suit, pickle color, green. You're going to see it much more. I just wanted you to be familiar with the concept of it. Now for the other parts, I wanted to show you the mostly the winter collection, let's call it. These two are the things that they would give you for it. I'm going to start with these. This is the hat that you are officially required to wear in like any point that is like a winter season or anything. You would be required to wear these clothes over your normal hat. And of course, this would be my broken ass normal hat. This was my daily driver. I had a newer one, but this guy had been with me for like a year and I want to say half at least, maybe more, but because it was just so old, I wanted to keep this one. I had a newer one, but I gave the new one away. It could still be used, and I wasn't using this anyway. So as you can see, it is kind of extremely looking tired. It cannot function itself. Yeah, it's folded and all that. I'm gonna get to that later. Also, these came in with these belts. These are like our version of PT belt. It's a utility belt, pretty damn strong, hefty. It's modular, so a lot of our modular kits kind of hang inside these, so you would use them as that. The reason for the hat's unmistakable condition is this big ass hunk of thing. This is our military overcoat, 4 pockets, 2 on left and right. We also had to have our insignias. These ones go above the collar line. You also have one going up top of your top right and left pockets. This one would be, I believe this one was where you were serving, so the unit you were stationed with, and this would be your name. The ranks would be up of these guys. You would have them going across these if you were like enlisted ranks, or PFCs have a golden line going up there. Just like that, another one going here. And what I used to do was just socket this poor ass hat that I used to wear all the time, just like this, just over my shoulder, just drooping down, and it caught goddamn very well. All right, it worked. It was always here, because as much as we'd like to not wear this thing, we had to have it, because when you are saluting someone in the military in Iran, you have to be wearing a hat. Saluting without a hat is actually an offense. It's technically like cursing someone out, all right? So you needed to have this at all points, all right? Atop this overcoat, you would sometimes wear these belts, as these were modular ones. You could do it under, but in like winter seasons, you wouldn't have the chance to open up this and then have access to your modular kits and all that. So you would sometimes wear it over. Also, a couple of more points about this overcoat. The inside of this thing has a attachment to it. As you can see, this thing has a zipper on the side that attaches itself to the inside of this thing. It also comes with its own inside fluffy arms and all that. There's also this thing which goes into like a cufflink from inside your overcoat, so it keeps it like in position at all times. One more point, it also has this thing in the inside of its collar. There's a zipper that goes all around and houses this thing coming out of it. It's kind of a windbreaker with like these which you pull on to tighten it up. It works good in an emergency situation. Not that reliable, but it's good to have it nonetheless. So as you could imagine, with like one of these windbreakers and these like fluffy hats that we used to wear, and of course these would go over our normal hats. So this one would give you cover, the other one would keep you warm, and this one kind of like holds everything together and tightens the things up. So the overcoat itself works as a pretty neat thing. Okay, now the winter collection is over. Let's go over our summer ones. I have talked about how where I was serving was in middle of a desert and it was extremely hot. So whenever we had the option to not wear any of those, we would wear any of the summer applicable shirts or t-shirts that they would generally be okay with. One of which was this one I'm going to show you next. This one would be the t-shirt that I would use when I was there, because these were just way more breathable, breathe through, as it would allow over the shirts that they would have given you. It's a pretty normal one, but it was a godsend when you were like in middle of the desert. Majority of the related things to the, at least the law enforcement corps, was that they extensively came in the color green or black like this one. Therefore, while these were not technically official, a lot of police corps stuff would have come in these colors as well. Like, for example, this belt that I just showed you guys also comes in black. Now, my black one is a bit special. Now, you could actually tell these ones are brass. These ones are brass bracketed, and you can tell the quality on this is way better than those. This is actually not mine. This has been a gift to me from one of my senior officers. These ones actually have a bit of a cool history behind them. These ones are called these are all called the utility belts, or as in Persian you would call these military ones fanoshe. Anyway, these are the brass ones. These are of course better of quality than them. This beautiful thing was actually gifted to me. I do not own this. Someone gave this to me. This was a gift by a senior officer of mine whom I had and still have a very good relationship with. He had my back in so many different cases and I had his. Yeah, he was my patrol officer. And of course I asked him for something so I could have something of his for a souvenir, as a souvenir. And he gave me this. I also had a black version of this, pretty old one, kind of looks the same. He said, give me the black version that you have. I'm going to give you this. Keep this one as a souvenir. And I did. Honestly, I got a really good trade of it, but I really like this. I still have my holster. This was for a military baton. I want to say tunfa. It's one of those that has a side handle, so it would stick out and catch itself here. The baton ones would usually be a bit more narrow at the bottom, so it would catch it here, so you could push it up. But these ones would stick out of this place, so it would have worked either way. We had multiple of these modular ones. I got a holster for this one, preferably for myself, but I would usually be given one for like a pepper spray. A handcuff would usually go behind my back, and anything else that I would have been given to bring on a mission or anything. Now, the cool history about this is that this technically doesn't exist. These were used in a older version of our law enforcement. We usually, yeah, that was it. These were called a gendarmerie belt. Of course, it's French. The older version of police or police forces in Iran was run by gendarmes. Now they are completely defunct or replaced by the modern police service, but these kind of survived out the wild, and because it was still a police adjacent group, they were kind of incorporated, so they were allowed as well. And now for the pièce à la résistance, my own old ass Pizza Hut beret. Now, let me show you the insignia on it. Yeah, this text on the top, this first one is a R, this is a N, this is a G, and this is a R, like this one. So, Ranger. This is the Ranger Corps insignia. I wasn't in a Ranger Corps. Our battalion was a Ranger Corps training facility, and they would extensively use this one or this insignia. So because these were kind of part of our ceremonial clothing at the time, they said everyone has to have these on top of their headpiece, and this one is mine. Also, yeah, it's a very woolly thing. It has so much length on it still. Also has these small thingies that you could pull to just stitch them down. Now for a couple of other stuff I wanted to show you. Now I wanted to show you this. This was our off-duty notebook, let's call it. Every single time you would want to go almost anywhere, taking monthly assigned vacation days or anything, you would have to use one of these. The first page of it is just reading that. Law Enforcement Force of Islamic Republic of Iran, the top line. And the bottom line says Conscript's Notebook of Vacation Days. As you would open it up, you had to have a picture of all of this. This would be your rank, your name, your family name, name of father, a social ID card, a date of birth, same stuff there. Your blood type, where were you serving, which year you entered service, where you were living, a phone number, and a seal of where you were serving at the time. And every time you would change your place of like mission, you would have to like get a new stamp, because the stamp had to go over this and another one over your picture. And every time you did have a vacation day or an hour, sometimes you would have to write these all down. This would be the number you would use, like this one would be the first one, from the hour of, from the date of, till the hour of, till the date of, to go to, or the destination is. You would have to fill all these up, get this to your commander. He would stamp it out here. This is your exit, khuruj. This is your entrance, vurud. So when you exited your mission precinct or operational unit or anything, you would have to have a stamp of exit here by one of the gate guards. In the hour of, in the date of, you have exited your precinct, and you have entered it, which was going to be after it, the date of and the hour of. So you would fill these up as it goes, and that's it. The other thing I wanted to show you is one of these. I have talked about how religious some of the conscription stuff gets, but this was like what you'd be required of knowing. This has like all the rules of how you should do your, let's get this open, baptisms and all that, because there is a lot of that, a lot of religious articles, how to get the wuzu, how to, do all the prayers, what to say. Some of them are in Arabic and all that. And you would be asked of these. These are your reading material that you had to be tested for at the end. How to clean a lot of different stuff up, like how to clean blood up, and if it caught on your body or clothing, how you should clean them out, because anything that has been soiled by blood is technically unclean in the faith of Islam, so you had to know how to clean those up as well. And the last one, this one's going to be a short one, sadly. The knowledge required by a conscript. This was the booklet that every single conscript had to have with him at all time. Like, you would have inspectors coming up to you and asking you, just show me your booklet. That's what they were all asking for. This was the first thing that they would have asked. A lot of this stuff I can talk about, but I can't show. Like a couple of the first ones are just sing-alongs and cadences that they would use on almost every single occasion. But also the page after that is a notice that you should not ever give this booklet to anyone or publish anything of it. So I could talk about what is it is in it, but I cannot talk about all of it. Understand that much. In this booklet has like how to navigate, how to do some of the first aids by navigation. Like there are a lot of them, like trying to navigate by the stars and like the starry nights and all that, measuring distances, some very small tactics. This booklet is specifically for law enforcement, so there are some other parts of that they talk about, like how to handle convicts, what are their rules, how you should behave around them, how to escort them, what are judicial papers, and all of that. Also, as I said, some of the first aid stuff, how to do bandages, how to use ampules, how to use this thing as something to stop bleeding and all that. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. As manual of arms, some again religious type of questions and all that. That's all for this video. I ranted on enough, y'all. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to support the original creators of this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you like this video, maybe do the same for me. I'll surely appreciate it. Again, happy holidays. Hug your family. Life is too short. Cherish the moment. See you all next week and in the next year. Bye.